Yuriy Fedorenko, commander of the Achilles strike UAV battalion from the 92nd Separate Assault Brigade of Ukraine, noted that Russian forces in the Kupiansk sector are seeking reserves and are trying to strengthen their strike capabilities using weather conditions. He shared the information on Espreso TV. On the Kupiansk front, the situation remains highly tense as Russian troops operate in kamikaze mode. Their task is to seize left bank Kupyansk and Kupyansk-Vuzlovyi by the end of the year. As a result, coercive measures and specialized units are forcing the Russian occupiers into battle. They are also seeking additional reserves and, taking advantage of the weather conditions, are attempting to enhance their capabilities in strike assault operations, commented the commander of the strike UAV battalion Achilles. According to his statement, the deep state map shows that Russians had partial success in the Lozova direction, attacking with significant forces and means, but today the maneuvering advance of the Russian army has been halted. Regarding the Kryakivka direction, the 1st Presidential Operational Brigade, Bucha, has been holding back the Russian occupiers for a long time, not allowing them to move forward, meaning all positions remain under Ukrainian control. Moreover, a series of successful measures have been taken to drive Russians out of Kolesnikivsky forest. Combat operations continue. Despite Russian assaults, the Ukrainian defense forces managed to maintain control in the area of left bank Kupiansk and Kupyansk-Vuzlovyi, summarized Yuriy Fedorenko. Russian forces have captured the villages of Pashotradniv and Vishniv in Kharkiv region, establishing a foothold for future operations. According to Ole Romanov, commander of the anti-tank battalion of the 3rd Separate Assault Brigade of Ukraine, the enemy likely plans to use mechanized thrusts after the ground freezes to cross the Chorny Zerebets River. He shared this information on the air of Suspiln Kharkiv. The enemy continues its attempts to push Ukraine's defense forces behind the natural barrier of the Oskil River. Assault operations are ongoing along our brigade's defensive line in the north. From the defense forces side, including the 3rd Assault Brigade, we are conducting stabilization measures. Natural conditions, such as morning fog, sometimes favor the enemy. Russian troops exploit this to infiltrate our defensive lines in small groups. Last week, there was even a skirmish between our drone operators and enemy infantry, Romanov said during the broadcast on Suspiln. Romanov also notes that the occupiers are laying the groundwork for a large-scale offensive anticipating frozen ground. This would enable Russian forces to use equipment to cross the Chorny Zerebets River. We are preparing for this scenario, he stated. According to Romanov, Russian losses in this sector are approximately 7 soldiers for every 1 Ukrainian defender.
An online video purported to show rebels freeing dozens of women at the notorious Saydnaya prison in Syria, where rights groups say thousands were tortured and killed. Syrian state television broadcast a rebel statement on Sunday saying President Bashar Assad had been overthrown and all prisoners had been released. The rebels urged people to preserve the institutions of the Free Syrian State and announced a curfew in Damascus from 4 p.m. to 5 a.m. On Sunday, Assad fled to Moscow and received asylum from his longtime ally, Russian media said, hours after a rebel advance seized control of Damascus and ended his family's 50 years of iron rule.
يلا النسوان اطلعوا لا تخافوا عمي لا تخافوا لا تخافوا انتوا اطلعوا ثوار يا اخي ثوار هدوا شوي انتوا من وين انتوا من وين طلعوا تعالوا يلا سيروا بعد شوي يلا دقيقه لا تخافوا عمي لا تخافوا لا تخافوا اختي لا تخافوا بعد كبروا يلا عمي الشعب صارت لنا روحوا وين ما بتكون الله اكبر كبروا شو بدك اغراضك امانات يا اختي هلا وش امانات هلا مطلع لك اياهم روحوا هلا جاي تاخذيهم معي طلعوا الحمد لله على السلامه طلعوا روحوا الحمد لله على السلامه طلعوا وين بدكم تروحوا يلا كل على بيتكم على البيت كل على البيت صرتوا احرار يلا كل واحد على بيته يلا عمو لا تخافوا كل واحد على بيته لا ملجأ ولا شيء يلا لا يلا لا تخاف يا عم، لا تخاف. يلا كله على بيته، لا تخافوا. لا حدا له شيء عندكم، يلا. الكلب خاف، الرئيس خاف، الكلب لا تخافوا، لا تخافوا. يلا الكلب. ما في معك في دولة يا أختي، شرائع الدولة خاطفت في سوريا. تعي تعي، يلا انزلي يا عمو، انزلي. تعي تعي. اللي ما بده يطلع يضل. ايه ايه حرام محدود حريته. ضو روحوا يا سلامة. ضو وين بدكم تروحوا انتوا منين؟ اطلعوا يا دارية، ما في حدا. يلا راح نطالع لك يا صفر هون. شهاد رح نطلع. شو بدك؟ لك روحي يا عمي، ما بدك هوية، ما حدا بيقول لك شيء. روحي لك، ما بدك شيء. روحي يا عمي، روحي. الله اكبر وعزة الله، الله اكبر. هلا رح طالع لكم اياهم، رح طالع لكم اياهم. لك روحي يا خالتي، ينزلونك على الامانات. روحي يا خالتي، روحي روحي. لك روحي يا عمي، روحي يا عمي، روحي. لك لا تخافي، ليش خايفة؟ لك راح بشار الاسد سقط، ليش خايفة؟ سقط راح، ما ضلش بالشار. سقط هذا الدولة بدنا نطلع العالم. انا بحفظ مش عندي روح. ما في شيء. اطلعي لبرا، روحي هلا، اطلعي لبرا.
حدا ينزل معي لهون يا شباب.
انا نازل معكم.
شباب حدا ينزل معي.
شو بدكم عمي؟
احنا نزلنا لجوا.
ليش؟ برا من هون. دلنا على الطريق.
هوياتنا بس
يا عمي والله ما بدك.
Syrians walked around the halls of the presidential palace Sunday after the fall of the government earlier in the day, bringing an end to the 50-year rule of the Assad family after a sudden rebel offensive sprinted across government-held territory and entered the capital in 10 days. Crowds gathered in Syria's Damascus on Sunday to celebrate the fall of Bashar Assad's government with chants, prayers and the occasional gunfire after opposition fighters entered the capital following a stunning advance. Rami Abdurrahman of the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, a Syrian opposition war monitor, said Assad took a flight from Damascus and left early Sunday. There was no immediate official statement from the Syrian government and Assad's whereabouts remain unknown. It was the first time opposition forces had reached Damascus since 2018 when Syrian troops recaptured areas on the outskirts of the capital following a years-long siege. The night before, opposition forces had taken the central city of Homs, Syria's third largest, as government forces abandoned it. The rapidly developing events have shaken the region. Lebanon said it was closing all its land border crossings with Syria except for one that links Beirut with Damascus. Jordan also closed a border crossing with Syria.